Hello, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is Saturday in 2024 in late May, and we are participating in Star Wars Saturdays, an ongoing anthology campaign where I have run or played in 100 different RPGs set in the galaxy of Star Wars, none of which are officially licensed Star Wars RPGs because I'm just obstinate that way. We are bringing to a close. This is the finale of a quarterly, meaning we have played, this is the 13th session of Fellowship. Fellowship is a game from Barry Gothica. You could check it on Drive-Thru RPG or Itch. It's great. There are 4 books of it. I foolishly tried to combine 3 of those books into one game because they all had Star Warsy things in them. And everyone has been nice enough to play along. We've told a very interesting and epic tale. Stuff's going on. This is set after Return of the Jedi, but before Mandalorian for Star Wars heads. It's using expanded universe or Legends canon ideas, such as the warlord Zinj, a guy who heard, oh yeah, Palpatine died. That's fine. I'll just keep the Empire going in this slice of the galaxy. And it is an Imperial remnant, a rather large Imperial remnant. And this fellowship has been fighting, leading a rebellion, trying to take down the main captains or lieutenants of Warlord Zinj. They have successfully taken down all but one question mark. Somebody is not exactly redeemed. We just had revealed to us delightfully before I hit the button to record. You'll find out more about that during the intros. The last session ended with the crew of the Diligent Spark boarding Dominion's Claw with the intention of heading to Sereno, which is the capital planet of Zinj's empire, and where Zinj can be found. Warlord Zinj, a mustachioed villain. And the idea was they come out of hyperspace and pose as buddies of the Warlord Zinj in Dominion's Claw, which was the ship of Nolus Sintel, the Zygarian queen, who they have defeated roundly. Yeah, the intention was just like a Lambda class shuttle sliding in with the codes that check out to take Warlord Zinj unawares. And with that, let's go around the horn to do a quick reminder of who we have. Unfortunately, Cody got an epilogue last session. That wasn't unfortunate. The unfortunate part is he was unable. We knew ahead of time he was not able to play with us today. So he is sir not appearing in this film, as Rich doesn't get tired of that Monty Python joke. And it is a true trad style RPG session because I've made a Monty Python reference. Okay, let's start from the left-hand side of the character keeper, heading towards the right. Steven, if you could kick us off by introducing yourself and telling us a brief bit about your character, parentheses S, because Brooks.
So my name is Steven, my pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Nanta, the Ewok, and Brux, his mount, who is a Corellian hound. And Brux is there if I need to get around and that kind of stuff. But Nanta is a trickster, deadly little murder bear, always willing to feed people. And I think kind of the heart of the group, trying to talk about where we're going and why we're doing what we're doing.
Thank you so very much. Next up, we have Kay.
Hi, I'm Kay of the She and They Variete, and I am playing Darren von Vorlock, our ancient secret wielding princeling. He is the heir playbook and has spent a lot of this journey battling between the light and the dark side as a sort of semi-Padawan to our Jedi and a possible apprentice or area of interest to our matron. And now it seems like a lot of his choices are aligning. and he is ready to avenge the capture and takeover of his home planet. We shall see how it goes.
We shall. Greg, you are up next.
Hi, Greg, he, him pronouns, playing Zop Books. Also he, him pronouns, Zop Rhodian Bounty Hunter, member of the Tenwa clan, has recently indoctrinated Nanta into the Tenwa clan, and is ready to purge Zinj from the galaxy so that the Tenwa clan can, once again take over its glorious spot in the galaxy.
Yeah, it's all been about the Tenwa clan. It's a good point. Good point. Hey, we
A Zop
knew
Books
that.
led Tenwa clan, but
Yeah,
Zinj must die.
Yay. And last but certainly not least is Tyler.
Oh, I'm Tyler. He, him pronouns. I'm playing Matron Chevelles Andries. She, her pronouns, who is a Dathomiri witch, and the Nemesis playbook, which means I have been working for and with the Warlord, but have over the course of this become close with the Fellowship. I have a special bonded interest with Darren, but have also built up a closeness with the rest of the Fellowship, most especially Nanta. Have found out that the Warlord has kept me from my home planet because he was siphoning away the force that kind of powers the Dathomiri witches and has unleashed a zombie plague on Coruscant using it. When I returned to Dathomir, the last remnants of the great matron there said, "You suck, Andres. You're a terrible person. You allowed this to happen. All that is left for you is vengeance." But somewhere in there is Chevelle's working with the Fellowship has turned her mind that maybe vengeance is not all that's left, and maybe there is something better, both for her and maybe for the Dathomiri witches. We shall see. I will say that the Redeemed is right there on deck. The final conversion to a sort of goodie. It's ready to be picked in this session,
But it hasn't been chosen.
but it has not as of yet.
That's right. Even though for like the last couple weeks, you could have just checked that box. You have yet to do so. So I still have some skin in that game, Tyler, is what I'm saying. I'm just saying I have some skin in the game because that sounds fun to say. And also I rarely use that phrase. Tyler, we had discussed that maybe it'd be interesting to find out what has matron Chevelles Henri's been up to. So
I think we go ahead.
no?
I think, in true Star Wars fashion, which is, I think we kind of open with as we see Chevelle's ship arriving back at Dathomir. We see, kind of cut in to the central area of the temple where the pool and all of the around, and we can see that she's setting up that kind of Magitech, the various things around there. And with her is Dulac, the Rancor, and we see the two of them kind of come together near the pool, and Dulac leans down, and she and Dulac kind of almost press foreheads, this enormous creature. You can see the sadness as Chevelles reaches up and sort of touches his massive jowl, in affection, as she turns to leave, and Dulac sort of squats enormously over the pool. We get a Star Wars wipe as we see arriving on Vorlock, the ship. We see the kind of ruins of the palace, as Chevelles working through using the force to move things as she digs deep into the ruins of the palace, heading to the archives. We see her studying down deep amongst the ruins into, it's Star Wars, so it's tech that's better because it's old. down at the bottom as she's looking through schematics and here, we see hollows that are kind of where she's apparently studying something. And then above, she hears disruption, and we see as she steps out kind of riotous activity, the people in disarray, as you could sense, see her sensing the force, and we have that sort of cut to the ship and the free Darren as they're coming in, and her realizing that something has changed there as she moves off to her ship to go and intercept with the Fellowship.
Nice. Nice. I love it. I love it. So this is a question to set the scene for this like cutscene of villains talking. And the question is to the group, the final confrontation with Warlord Zinj, are you more interested in it taking place aboard the Star Destroyer where we have seen him a couple of times before in cutscenes, or down on the planet of Sereno, which is, as a reminder, my cyberpunk Star Wars planet, where I have run many cyberpunk RPGs. So, which is more interesting to you guys? Because I want to frame this scene in one of those two locations.
I like to back up both, but boy, them Superstar Destroyers are sure cool.
I vote to jungle school them together, and we're in the Superstar Destroyer over the planet Sereno.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If it's in the
Okay,
Superstar Destroyer, it
okay.
was always in orbit over Sereno. So sounds like Steven, vote.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, cool, sweet. So we hear we've paid some extra money for John Williams because he did it for Acolyte. He can come in and do just a little bit of a riff off of the Imperial March, and it's the Zinj's theme, right? It's blowing up on the Spotify's. Zinj's theme plays, and we see him in his white Imperial garb with he's now got more medals. Who's giving him? Who's judging to give him medals? He is. He has like all the best medals, and they're nice. He's looking out over his planet. There are those who say maybe he's not even from Sereno. This was Count Dooku's planet, but Zinj laid claim to it now. And who's going to tell him no? And he has a data pad in his hand, and it's slick. It has a really cool set of readouts all in Orabesh, and people are going to pause and freeze frame on particular bits and try to decode what it's all about. It's reports from some of the places, from Dathomir, reports from Vorlog, reports from the Zygarians of things falling apart. And we see a little bit of sweat on the brow of Warlord Zinj as he looks over the ruin that this rebellion has brought to him. He looks unhappy in the reflection of the plastisteel window that looks over his planet, part of his empire. This rebellion has been more potent than I anticipated. And then the camera pulls back just a little bit to make space for a new entrant walking up to a new person we haven't seen before, walking up to the Warlord. She wears the helmet of the traditional Inquisitors, which were, oh, thank you for the picture of our portly Warlord Zinj there. Starts twirling his mustache. He has his little data pad there. And this female inquisitor, she steps up close and in a modulated voice, the helmet evidently has some kind of voice modulator. She says, Warlord Zinj. Yes, thank you, Inquisitor Nix. You have champed at the bit for the opportunity to take your place at my right hand. I need you to find Matron Chevelle Sandries and bring her to me. She has much to answer for. Quite disappointed in her performance. As you wish, Warlord Zinj. She inclines her head, turns, and in a very quick pace marches away. And then Zinj looks down again, and we see incoming information, and a little hollow pops up, and an Imperial officer of some kind says, Warlord Zinj, we have tracked the signal coming from the Diligent Spark. We've been able to locate in the in hyperspace that it is coming closer towards Sereno. We estimate that they shall be here in less than an hour. Very well. You know what we have planned for them. Commence. So, that is my cutscene. So we will cut to Tyler. Do you have? Is there another? No. Okay. Good. So, we jump to the Dominion's Claw, not the Diligent Spark. Oh, is the finger up? Is there a thing? Greg? Oh, okay. The Dominion's Claw, the Zygerian ship that you guys have taken over. I'm kind of imagining a little bit of, oh my god, I'm crossing the streams, but a little bit of Klingon vibes, like everything painted in red, open space with these tiny consoles with, you've got your regular pilot, Cherdal is flying, unless is Darren flying, or is Cherdal flying?
All we left on the Diligent Spark.
Turtle's on the Diligent Spark.
Okay, write that down. Cherdal, Diligent Spark.
Oh, Tyler, I don't like Tyler. Rich, I don't like that. I don't feel good, Mr. Stark. Yeah, Darren is flying the ship. I think it's a way to steady his hands right now before the big thing is he has a task. He's doing it. He's not thinking about other stuff if he's flying a ship.
Cool. Is the plan to just your Dominion's Claw, so you're just going to roll into Sereno like you own the place, like you're meant to be there, correct? I'm just making sure. I don't want to assume that away.
Like casual. Yep.
Like casual.
For sure.
I think briefly that the plan that we talked about, I don't know that we all agreed, but my thought was that we would come in on the Claw and then immediately leave and crash it into the shield generator so that the rest of the fleet, the rebel fleet, could come in and engage.
Yes.
While we took care of Zinj. Does that sound okay, Zop?
That sounds good. If they're on the Superstar Strokes, that was, I didn't remember that we were talking about doing it on the planet now.
No.
One more thing. Let's get it clear.
Yeah.
I missed a little bit. Dominion Claw is going where? I know you talked about having the fleet show up to do battle, and that sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's Star Wars. The idea of a big battle over the skies of Sereno, super hot. We've got the budget for it. But where's Dominion's Claw? Like, what is your plan? Right.
So my thought, and I'd like to hear from everybody else, but my thought was that we were going to bring in the Claw and then crash, because the Claw would be protected and allowed inside the shield generator. it would be authorized. And then once we got inside the shield, we would crash it into the shield to drop it for the fleet. We would evacuate on ships or on escape pods or whatever to get to Zinj. That was my thought. What do the rest of you think? Is that clear, Rich?
Yes, it is very clear. Thank you very much for being considerate.
So we're escaping on escape pods, and they'll get picked up by the Superstar Destroyer. That's the idea.
Or a ship that we're buzzing towards the Superstar Destroyer or whatever it is.
Okay.
Okay. So
that was my thought.
Dominion's Claw comes in. It's the Trojan horse, takes out shield generator of Superstar Destroyer. So when Rebellion fleet arrives, you've got good chance to be successful, poke the Goliath in the face with sticks. Cool. Okay. With that in mind, Darren, you are piloting. It helps you to keep a sense of calm, a stillness that you have lacked for some time.
Yes.
The holocron is not there to help you feel better. That's what it did.
Yeah.
It helped you to feel better.
Made me feel strong.
Only cared about you.
Loved
really
me so
wanted
much.
you to be successful.
Just truly loved me and wants me to be a stronger person.
Denied it.
My older brother, younger brother, it's complicated.
You've input the coordinates into the nav computer. You know that you are less than a minute away from entering the space of Sereno's, because it does orbit its own star, right? So the Sereno system.
Yes.
And maybe 30 seconds short of when you were supposed to disengage from Lightspeed to arrive, the klaxons go up, weep, 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 and you get a proximity alert thrown up, and as they are programmed to do, the hyperspace engines immediately disengage because you don't want to crash into a planet. And the sheer amount of gravitational force that the sensors picked up are that you are encroaching on a planet, and boom, you drop out of warp, drop out of light speed. Why do I keep saying warp? What the hell is wrong with me? I need to castigate myself. Sorry, let's please take a 10-minute break while I go find something to, I don't know, for castigation purposes. Yeah, exactly. I just, man, it's a few Hail Marys and a few Luke Skywalkers, and I'll be okay. Boom, you drop out of hyperspace, and the sublight engines start to kick on, and you see that there is the planet far away. Like, if it is Earth, you are not quite to a moon. You're more like Mars to Earth distance away. Hail Leia's, those are good. I like that. I'm gonna not use that, but I'm amused by it. You're nearly a planet away, and there is another Star Destroyer, not a Super Star Destroyer. Darren, I imagine, is of Vorlon. You know how to fly ships. Who would have taught you about gravity well generators? Probably nobody.
Yeah.
This ship has one, and it is just broadcasting that across the space lane to yank any and everything out of hyperspace before it even gets close enough to be a danger to Sereno. They are prepared for something going down. Maybe they were prepared for the Diligent Spark, which you are not on. But yes, klaxons go on. You guys drop out of warp. We cut to Nanta. What were you cooking when all of everything started to shake and you guys dropped out of light speed into space?
I was actually mixing a hearty brew, to perk up everyone's spirits, calm their nerves a little bit, but give them a little bit of courage.
Oh, it's good. One of the things like spills over and you have to wipe it up, and then it drips off of the side of the little table, and Brooks runs over and starts licking it real quick, even though he's not supposed to. You've told him many times that it's bad for him, but maybe if he has just a little bit, it's not terribly bad. Zop, where are you? You were supposed to be at Sereno in minutes, and boom, everything happened all of a sudden. So where was Zop on the ship?
Zop was in the armory, prepping his weapons. And when we suddenly come out of hyperspace, looks around, grabs whatever's at hand, and starts running for the cockpit as quickly as he can.
Nice. Sweet.
Rich, is there, and let me know if this is mechanically not a thing. Is there any way to either overcome or get away from this, or is that just not a thing?
It's happened. That
Okay.
gravity well generator is there to create a gravitational force that takes off any and every hyperspace. Like, you would have to do a serious override and know what's happening beforehand. It's so immediate because you're
Okay.
traveling so fast.
Mhm.
So you're out of hyperspace. Sublight engines have kicked on. You're still on the Dominion's claw. They are broadcasting to you. This Star Destroyer is hailing you.
Okay. Question. If an escape pod left this, would it just immediately get sucked up like that, or could an escape pod go somewhere else?
Good question. So the gravity well generator is creating enough force to where it would be challenging for a smaller object like the escape pod to travel. The only good news is that they can pulse the thing so that something could potentially travel through. They're not choosing to do that. You need to deal with the Star Destroyer or find an alternate route.
Oh yeah, no, that wasn't for us. That was for an NPC I was going to ship off, but
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Good luck.
yeah, I don't think that's going to work.
So Nanta waddles up onto the bridge,
and
and
Zop also arrives.
and Darren's like, and turns to Darren like, "What's going on?"
It seems someone has intercepted us, this ship, and they're making a call. I'm trying to decide if I wish to answer that or not.
You see a squad of TIE fighters have been launched from
Okay,
the Star Destroyer.
yeah.
Nanta reaches up and turns on the intercom, switches over the translation device. I'll talk to them.
Oh. Yeah, sure, why not? Fuck it.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes. Do you want to do it? I'll just answer it.
No, you can answer it, and I'll jump in if I need to with my move. But I think it's fun that Darren at this point is like, fuck it, we die today. Just opens the comm, so it's Nanta. Let's not to do it. Go for it.
Nanta turns on the translator. Imperials do not really care for non-humans, and says, we were attacked by the rebellion and got word that they were coming here. We're here to provide any assistance we can possibly do for the Empire and Zinj himself. Let us take up position with the rest of your troops.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, of course they identify themselves as Band of Vengeance, and they demand to know why Dominion's Claw is here and about the reports that they have heard about the fall of Zygeria. And you can you were attacked by a rebellion. It kind of gives you an opportunity to make a roll. You've got a pretty good excuse here. Let's see if you can convince them. It sounds like you were trying to talk sense.
Talk sense with tricks, right? Is grace.
Uh-huh.
I have a 2 in grace. and because I'm acting heroic, I have
Oh,
advantage.
I was gonna help you, but you don't really need it.
No, help me if you want to.
Yeah, I think Zop is goes over and starts broadcasting all of the codes, right? Like it's just a matter of course, right? Yeah.
Nice. So let me roll that. Okay, that is an 8 plus 2 is a 10.
Turns out when you roll with advantage and are good at a thing, things happen to go the way you want. On a 7+, they do as you ask to the best of their ability. And there is no thing. So, of course, thank you very much for your assistance. Is it true that Queen Nolas is with you?
Um, she was here, yes, but she is of course with us, and we will meet with Zinj once we approach.
So, the TIE fighters that were coming racing towards you, they split out and become your honor guard. The gravity well generator is turned from incredibly on to a pulse, so it should still do its job, but you guys can pass by and head towards Sereno.
I think as we're seeing that, we also have get caught in the as it's comes out of hyperspace. We see a Vorlock, uh, like personal craft, like smaller craft.
We imagine
Uh,
it's like similar to the prequel shuttlecrafts' long, silver, beautiful yacht type deals.
right.
Hi,
And
love it.
is since they've and we see it come in with stuff going on with them, our main fellowship, and is broadcasting that to the when it's hailed, and is broadcasting it's a courier coming from Vorlock to report in on the uh, uh planetary, what's going on with the defenses of Vorlock.
Nice. Let us see if you are successful in talking your way through that.
All righty. Um, let's see here. I
Probably
now
going
have I picked up wisdom, so I can now do the normal things that I couldn't do before. Because
nice.
I'm certainly in the temporary redeemed at the very least at the moment. Um, let's see, would that be talk cinch, you think, though?
I think that is the fool somebody with words thing, impress, dazzle, or trick them, rolling plus grace.
Because I don't think because this is me being subterfuge. I'm not using my nasty iron one. So yeah. Um, so I could do that with sense or grace or with wisdom. Uh, okay. And for me, the best one is what approach? Sense, grace, or wisdom. Um, let's do it with wisdom since I don't get to use that very often. And it's really just me, having the right call signs, all the stuff it should be in fairly good order. Let's just see if I get clocked on it. All right. Rolling 2, adding 1. That's an
Ooh, a
8.
7. They do as you ask to the best of their ability, but on a 9-, you owe them a favor. The more you ask of them, the more they'll ask of you, and they can cash in at any time. Even right now, before they do as you ask. And who are you reporting as? Just nobody from Imperial
Yeah,
detachment to Vorlock?
being sent by the regent Judas to report in to headquarters, sort of thing.
Okay. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. So the captain of the Hand of Vengeance. The captain's, of course, will let you through. Patch straight through to the captain. But I'm eager to hear about the progress on Warlock. Come here, report directly to me before you are allowed further.
The person on comm says, of course, report again.
Nice. That's right, because you got a whole ship. Like, you got people who do stuff for you.
Yeah, I don't fly very much.
This is how you fly. You tell somebody, do the thing. Sweet. Then your sleek ship heads into the Hand of Vengeance. And as you are coming closer, you feel a disturbance in the force. There is someone aboard the Star Destroyer. Someone who has embraced the darkness, unlike you. So we cut to Darren as you are piloting the Dominion's Claw towards the Warlord Zinge's Super Star Destroyer. And the Super Star Destroyer is known as, it is named the Subjugator.
I think, yeah, he's piloting it, and then with one free hand, he is writing a letter. And then on the intercom, he calls out and says, Dr. Kidros, would you please come to the ship deck?
Rich is confused. Who's Dr. Kidros?
That is the really fun Nigerian doctor.
Oh, I'll put a doctor in front of it just so Rich can remember. Thank you. Yes, the Mechano Doctor at Dominion's Claw. Holy crap. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
He will arrive. He seems obsequious, but also slightly annoyed at being pulled out of something he was involved in that took more of his interest. Yes, Princeling, how may I help you?
Yes, there is a good chance we will lose this ship and that things may get disastrous. I don't know if you'll need it.
No, that won't do. There's very expensive machines.
I know.
And
I know.
You need to secure it.
So there's escape pods, and or there is abilities to perhaps leave from planet, but this is a
I will
note.
start moving everything from the Mechano Medical Bay into an escape pod. I'll need 3 of them.
You will get one, and you will deal with it. This is a note of
Requisitions to
offer.
rebuild this med bay will be not inconsequential, Princeling. Sorry to say.
Don't worry, the coffers of my planet are full. And he's still holding this letter out and says, this will give you job in space on my planet. You simply just need to get there.
With all due respect, perhaps you could have planned this ahead of time. All
You're
this
right.
seems so sudden.
I
There's so much
apologize.
more I could have done. I could have moved everything to the Diligent Spark if only we delayed this errand of yours by a few hours.
I do apologize for the inconvenience. It really is unfair of us.
I'll do what I can.
Yes, do your best. I'm so sorry, Doctor.
Instruct my lab. He mumbles and mutters angrily and heads.
I'm assuming he takes the rolled note.
Yes, he does.
Okay, cool. I have secured.
Snatches it from your hand, kind of thing, like, there.
Oh, if he snatches it from my hand, I grab his wrist and pull him in very close.
Oh, he's suddenly really interested in this.
I enjoy your antics, but do not take them too far.
I think I will enjoy working for you, Princeling. I think I shall.
He lets go. Get yourself safely out of here.
Of course. It's my number one talent.
Darren goes back to piloting the ship.
He gets the hell out of here. So he is like grabbing the most important machines in the PQ-38 modulator, drops it all into the escape pod, and flies
Character with
right past the TIE
bundle
fighter.
dying ship.
Zop,
Zop is
you.
back in the engine room
Mm-hmm.
now. And there's a slight echo to when we first met Zop way back. He's back in the engine room. And he is shunting all of the coaxium into the reactor core. He is overdriving this thing to make it a missile. And prepping it to explode against the shield generator. And probably venting a little bit, right? We're gonna have to pretend that there's an emergency on board to get this thing to go off without a hitch. As we get closer to the Superstar Destroyer.
Let me ask you a question about the Tenwa clan.
Sure.
Does the Tenwa clan have a headquarters, an enclave, a place they call home?
Trying to remember if I've answered this before or not.
It's possible.
Yeah, I think somewhere in the Minos cluster there is likely a shrine. Or at least a ceremonial headquarters.
Nice. Sweet. Yeah. You receive an emergency distress call from the Minos cluster shrine.
Oh,
It's automated. It's
what does it
calling
say?
everyone from the clan. So I guess Nanta too.
What does it say?
Oh,
Just to
it's an
return?
automated distress that the shrine is under attack.
Dot punches something. And dismisses the emergency signal.
Stuff. Okay. Huh. Sweet. So you are adding to the subterfuge here so that you guys can get close enough to pull off the staring plan. Nanta, we know Darren is piloting. What is Nanta doing in these last few moments? Prepping an escape pod, or it's something else?
So had been gathering supplies to put in, weapons and that kind of stuff to go into an escape pod. But after the discussion and saying that the Zygerian Queen should meet with Zinj, is frantically. Do you think the ship has like a shuttle or something like that?
It did.
Oh, that's right. It's gone now. Oh.
Well, there should be more than one.
Well,
should be.
in this case, I'm still going to put stuff into an escape pod. We can pilot the escape pod over. It looks kind of janky, but we did say we were under attack, especially
I
if the
think
ship
each of the escape
goes into
pods look
distress
like a
after we leave.
claw, like a little miniature claw, like a thorn that flies through
Oh, yeah.
space.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds great. So he's just throwing, all sorts of weapons and all sorts of dangerous stuff into the escape pod. Yeah.
Nice. And I think Brooks is like jumps into the escape pod and jumps back and is bouncing like in and out. And he grabs one of the devices you have and he brings it back to you and drops it at your feet. And then goes to grab another thing, and you have several things that he has arrayed at your feet, thinking one will be the thing that you get excited and participate in some kind
And
of.
I kind of shake my head a little bit. I think I've got this big rope net that I've kind of thrown around his neck that I'm tossing other equipment into to drag over there to the, drag through the ship to the escape pod. So, and he's pulling it and trying really hard to be a good boy. And then as I put stuff in, he'll grab it. He'll grab something and bring it back out. And I'm like, no. Yeah.
Nice. Darren. You get the thumbs up signal from Zapu, I think. And things are ready to go. The engines are filled with coaxium. And yeah, if you think you can pull this off, you can try to disable the shields on the subjugator.
Yeah, I set it to to the direction of coursework I want it to go, some autopilot. I get up and I kind of like tap the pilot's chair and I was like, you are a good ship. Uh and start heading towards where everything is. And I look around, and if there's any interesting small trinkets, Darren will gather them. Just if he spots anything.
Last minute, it's like he doesn't want to leave the ship, right?
No, I mean it's a cool ship. It has hot springs and like a cool forest area thing. He's like, "Oh, for the rebellion, I guess we'll destroy it. Uh, greater duties. But also it's a piece of history in a sense. A not great piece of history, but I think he's starting to realize that even not great pieces of history need to be remembered to prevent them from happening again. And so, yeah.
Those who
And he'll
forget
make
history are doomed to repeat it, they say.
Yeah.
Especially when you need sequels and don't have fresh ideas.
Shots fired.
Anyway, cool. I think that this is an attempt to. Oh, man, I don't know if this is an overcome. This is basically an attack.
Is this keep them busy?
Ooh,
That's a good answer.
Interesting. Definitely takes some courage. Yeah.
We're trying to buy some time.
Nice. Yeah, so you guys are heading towards that. Queue up that roll. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to see the roll hit the table, and then we're going to hot swap to Matron Chevalsa Henri's and her arrival upon the Hand of Vengeance.
Who's rolling it?
You're the pilot.
Oh, Jesus, I have the lowest courage. Okay.
I know.
It does do work like that sometimes.
Does do.
It does do. Let me just take a quick peek at my move. Is there anything?
I'd help you, but we have no bonds.
We have no bonds. We don't.
So this plan was sort of Nanta's. We have a bond, and you wanted to see me be very bloodthirsty, right?
I did. That is one of my things. Is I do want to see a bloodthirsty.
So I think you're going through and you're taking, little mementos or little things and kind of sighing about the loss of the good ship. Nanta, comes up and kind of rushes you out of the bridge. It's time to go, and says, it's just a ship. It's not people. It's not our people. It's an arrow against those that are killing our people.
Yeah, and yeah, that definitely cuts through. And he's like, "You're right, Nanta. Thank you for your wisdom. Now, how about we make a big blow to the people who have hurt our people?" So I will roll with hope. Oh, this is a sad last time I'm putting this username in. I don't want. That is a 9.
Ooh, a 9er on keep them busy. So that means that you buy some time and their attention is on you for now, but they will retaliate against you when time is up. And yeah, I think what happens is you guys all rush to the escape pods. The ship takes off. We see it. I would imagine, right? Like you want to go to light
So,
speed.
It's like, yeah, it like partially gets to hyperspeed right before it hits the shield, and we see that like the Gungan shields, that cracking, rippling tear across Serrano
Mhm.
as the ship breaks up against it.
Nice. I really dig that. That's very cool. Yes, so it streaks across as it just for a moment hits Lightspeed with all the coaxium, this blue arc of fire behind it, slams into the shield generator, which is this big, huge device sitting on top of the Star Destroyer. It explodes, and then we see fissures down from it. Huge claxons, of course. Thank you very much, Greg. And then we, of course, have obligatory shot in one of the hallways of the Superstar Destroyer with explosions and in a Wilhelm scream, people running, people thrown from flames engulfing people. And then as that is happening, we cut to the calm, quiet, won't use the word stillness, hangar bay silver shuttle pulling into the Hand of Vengeance that hasn't quite gone off yet. Matron Chevelle Henri's, you see there are 3 squadrons of stormtroopers and Inquisitor Nix. Inquisitor Nix
Okay.
and you, what kind of relationship have the two of you had during your time working for Warlord Zane? She is fanatically loyal to him.
I think it's been not a good one. I think that there's always been the covetance of my position where it is I probably I definitely hate that loyalty, that because I've never liked Sage. And so it's I knew that this was someone who would be at my back at some point to take me down. And I think that they see me as probably weak because I've never truly accepted the dark side.
It's true. It's true. So she has her hands clasped behind her back, standing in wreck military posture with like several squads of stormtroopers between you and her. And your ship comes to land.
Door opens and the actually Vorlock people that I brought with me, flying the ship and all that, are going to come down to, I suppose, be intercepted by stormtroopers and supposedly escorted to, at least by some, to the captain. I am going to mark one of my equipment, my useful tricks, clever
Ooh.
tricks.
Ooh.
Yes. So I'm just going to put an X off to this side rather than, oh no, I didn't do that. Never mind. I'll tap it, but I've got a second one in there. As they're coming down, my clever trick is from the other side of the ship. I'm going to have a Dathomiri runestone that is going to be, pulsing off. Generally, it's used for ritual, just for resonance in rituals. But it definitely gives off a pulse of the Force. So that hopefully this will draw the Inquisitor around there with or without escort. But as she moves around, I'm going to file in down the ladder or down the causeway, but but I'm using my hide in plain sight.
Ooh, nice. I like this idea. I think that you're trying to keep her busy. And I'll give you advantage or hope on the roll because of your dirty trick. Does that seem fair?
Sounds perfect.
Cool. Let's have you roll Coraggio. It turns out that you are, yeah, maybe not the most courageous of them all.
I am not courageous in general, no.
Good luck.
Let's see if the hope helps. It does. That's a 10.
Oh, baby. Look at that. I had dirty tricks in mind of my own, but the dice are ever in your favor. Okay, well, you buy some time. She does. She's attracted to this object of the force, but she comes around and will start trying to pull it to her, but perhaps it's secured, and so she's and distracted by this.
Okay. With my roll, can some of these stormtroopers go escorting the people that are supposed to be here?
Yeah. They
Others
this is all
come
official.
onto the ship.
Yeah, they
to
bought
search
the
it.
Vorlock thing. Like they're going to go be, well, they get shower or whatever kind of thing, but definitely are being watched because of
Then
the
can
mixed
she be
result.
around there by herself?
Yes.
I think then we see as Chevelles kind of slips the other Vorlockians or the Vorlock as they're going this way. She comes around the ship, and we've got the whole ship in between us and any of the other Imperials, and looks there at the Inquisitor, and so it has come to this, as I knew it would. And I'm gonna open up on her. I'm attacking.
Red lightsaber out, and she snaps around. I sensed your arrival. And yeah, that's the thing. It's like she's going with the idea of you did trick me, I tricked you, even though she's all by herself and no stormtroopers that she arrived with, and it's just the two of you. And I think this is the perfect moment for us to take our mid-game bio break. So let's do that. And we're back. As pointed out by Greg for timing, thank you very much. I think as we're back on the Hand of Vengeance in the hangar bay where Matron Chevelles Henri's and Inquisitor Nyx are about to face off, and then the alarms go off, the klaxons, and over the loudspeakers, the subjugator is under attack. Subjugator is under attack. And then she rises up the lightsaber and she says, I will defeat you, and then I will be the right hand at his side. And rushes forward. Swell of music.
And I don't have a lightsaber, but I think you see as she's coming in, I get into this stance, and this glow of green power surrounds my hands
Nice.
as I prepare to face her.
Delightful. This is the showdown between you and Inquisitor Nyx. I think you're going to need to overcome because she's going to try to harm you.
All right. She comes in swinging. I think that let's see, overcome, I get to choose. I think what I'm attempting to do here is I'm trying to wear her down. So we're gonna get a whole thing of her. Is she using a pike or she got a saber?
I think saber.
Saber. So as she's coming in, it's this flurry as I'm deflecting off and moving around, and first time us seeing Chevelles in an actual fight, and she's she's a force user, so there's a lot of that speed and the twirl, and her robes flowing in this sort of twirls around her as she moves and jumps and bounces off of things. But I'm trying to wear her down. No offense, all defense. And I think I'm going to use iron on that, since that's my wear them down ability. So 2d6 plus 3. Woo, that's 10.
Dang. Man, the dice are loving you. That is fantastic. So, 10 plus, you can stop the obstacle, threat, cut, or move from causing harm. And yeah, I think you are perfectly defending yourself. Perhaps you even push her back, perhaps. So there's a break in her fury of attacks.
And as we got this break, I think Chevale's kind of, we see Nyx kind of pulling back for this second charge as she begins to move. Chevale's reaches over and slams the ship into the side of her. Just using my strength of 100, anything that I could put my hand around to get a grip on, and I'm sure a ship has plenty of things I can grab, I'm capable of moving and throwing it. So I smack her with the ship as she's coming in, and am hoping with the overcome and with this, does that give me advantage to go into an attempt to finish them?
Yeah, I definitely think that is a crazy, unexpected. It's one of those and then hit by a ship, sends her skidding across the deck plates, and the lightsaber is out of reach. She's trying to reach for it to pull it to her with the force in enough time before you finish her. And how are you going to do? You're going to try to kill her? You're going to force her to retreat? You want to terrify or overwhelm? Disable or knock them out? I know what old Matron Chevelle Soundry used to do. Just kill them.
Yeah, I know that too. And okay. I think for dramatic purposes, we see the reach out for the saber, and we get the twirl flip over the air of Chevale's coming down on them. As we do, and we get that kind of slow-mo time moment, we hear Nanta's voice of, "I'll be watching you." And as Chevale's is coming down, I think she shrugs that off and buries her hand right into the back, the green slashing into her, and I'm going for blood.
Oh, oh man, maybe you are redeemed. Okay.
I think that gives good dramatic for later. All right, so 2d6 plus 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Ooh, on a 9, if you finish them on a 7 to 9, you deal damage to them and lose your advantage over them. If an ally was keeping them busy, they aren't anymore. So I think you hit. Maybe it's a thing where we go with the old tropes, the hand, the strength of 100, you slap against her left shoulder and pulverize it. It snaps and she screams in pain, rolls away, and is able to grab the lightsaber, but her arm hangs uselessly at her side. And then as stormtroopers are wont to be, they start firing on you to be in a thing to interrupt this. It's not a fair fight, right? and she is going to run away at this point. She just got majorly effed up. So let's cut back to the escape pod. Darren, Zop,
Yes.
Nanta, are each of you on separate escape pods, or are you all together?
Ooh, that's an interesting choice.
What were you picturing, Stephen?
I would like to see us together. I don't want to split us
Yeah,
up.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like all together too.
Sweet. It's all on Darren's shoulders then. Can you pilot your way through this as turbo lasers are firing on all of the escape pods? Like you see the escape pods from other members of your crew and they're getting blasted out of space. They are firing straight up on them. Also, maybe you don't see this, but the audience sees the Diligent Spark leading the rebel fleet timed perfectly. Boom, they're still yanked out of warp because the hand of vengeance is still on. So they are not close enough to help you guys at this point. Like
So it's overcome.
I think
Or sorry, I might have missed what one was it?
I think you're trying to get away from
No, that's
this.
fair.
You're
Get
trying to
away.
get away from the barrage of the turbo lasers trying to fire upon your helpless, defenseless escape pod.
Jesus.
And you roll with grace on that.
You roll with grace.
Didn't you get a gift from Oron?
I have camouflage.
Ah, camouflage. Okay.
Yikes. Uh-oh, that was not the roll we wanted, fam. That's a 5.
Is that true? Awesome. The escape pod is hit. All of you may mark a stat, and the escape pod flies down and crashes into the ship out in space, and it is quickly leaking air.
So we're crashed into the Superstar Destroyer itself?
Yes, you've crashed onto the Superstar Destroyer itself. And it is the three of you and Brooks, who we all agree
Brooks.
has plot immunity because cute dog.
Dog.
But it does whimper piteously because it really wants to be able to help, and there's just not much it can do to help. The good news is you're not being fired on anymore. Somebody is like, there's a dude at a turbo laser cannon, and he just goes, marks a little thing like he took you down. Several other marks, not that many. Like that is the one where he gets to cross the fifth, tick mark there. What do you do?
I'm going to mark one of my uses of clever. What will happen if I open the hatch right now?
Ooh, what would happen if you open the hatch right now without any preparation whatsoever? Is anyone not wearing a vac suit of some kind will lose all of their oxygen.
Die. Okay. Are there vac suits in the escape pod?
Roll a d6.
I want to see those gas masks that they had in Empire Strikes Back, right? Maybe it's not a full vac suit, it's just a little thing. But
sure.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's 2.
Yes. Thank you, Dice. You're delightful.
Oh.
I think Nanta finds them and hands one to Zop and hands one to Darren.
And Brooks already has like a little bubble helmet on.
Oh,
We didn't even
Brooks.
see anyone put it on him. He's got it. He's good. Cool. So
And
yeah,
then
Nanta is
Nanta, I
giving
think,
up.
pulls out.
You're giving up the
Oh, yeah.
like. There are only 2. Nice.
Handing them to the other 2. Yes. And then pulls out like a thermal detonator or something, like to blast our way in, and looks at you all eager.
Zappa grabs Darren before he can complain. and pushes him out the airlock. I'm gonna mark Freya
Ooh.
to grab Nanta right before the thermal detonator goes off.
Oh, I wasn't gonna. My
Oh.
plan. I'm sorry. The thing Nanta was threatening was pulling out the thermal detonator so that we could blast our way into the Star Destroyer. Once you open that door, we're gonna blow a hole or something to get in. Because we're outside and we got to go in.
But if I open the door, you're
So
gonna
that's
die.
I think what I'll do is I'm gonna mark Brooks, and Brooks will drag me in once I pass out.
Okay. I like that too.
Yep.
I'll save
So
Freya
I
for
will
something
let
other
me.
point.
Yeah, that makes more sense to the plot too, I think.
Okay. It's half a plan. How this feels like a roll.
Is it so the role is to what? Get out of empty space and inside the subjugator. Super Star
Yes.
Destroyer. Any Tyler, is it an overcome? Is there another move that might better apply? I'm just looking and
I hate to do a getaway twice in a row, so
oh,
maybe
true. You are trying
overcome
to
would
get
be.
away. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's exactly it because the options fit perfectly. So yeah, get away, failed. Now you got to get away from another trouble. A roll plus grace. You're very graceful, aren't you, Zob?
Actually, yeah. I got a +1 there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. +1.
You have the grace
Just
of a
to get away.
princeling.
Okay. And this is me grabbing Darren. Here we go.
Yeah.
That's a 7. Totally acceptable number.
Uh-huh. Oh, Darren, what stat did you damage?
Oh, did I not click it? Sorry. The stillness.
Ooh.
Oh my. Okay.
I
Cool.
hate to be nasty, but Zop, do you and Darren have bonds at the moment?
No, we do not. Does that mean I have to
Rolling
roll
these
to
fair, you'd
spare?
roll a third die.
disadvantage.
All right, I will roll 1 extra die.
So you
And
get a 5 and a 1.
maybe it'll also be a 1, and everything will be totally cool. Everything will be totally fine. Here we go.
That's not how it works.
It's also a 5.
Oh
So...
man. So exactly the same. But thank you for that reminder. I forgot that.
I was
That
trying to
on
see
me.
if I could utilize also because I theoretically get hope when I roll spare. Like I still get ahead, but no.
and I will grab somebody nearby and bring them with me. That's me grabbing Darren. So
Okay. Sounds good.
we're definitely not doing it quietly with the thermal detonator. And we are not avoiding harm along the way.
Yeah.
And I think what we see is you open the portal, and we see Nanta standing there with the thermal detonator. But as soon as the oxygen's sucked out, he goes down, and that thermal detonator rolls right. And then Brooks kind of, he goes down, and I think Brooks drags him along, wherever y'all end up.
Nice.
Are we damaging more?
Yeah, Nanta, Zop, and Darren, you guys fight through that brief moment. You have, well, it's less so for Zop and Darren because you've got some protection. But yeah, the escape pod no longer viable. You find a spot, you force your way through one of the little ports and come down in, but there are klaxons already going on, and there are some stormtroopers down there waiting, and they are firing on you. And both of you get to mark another stat because they are trying to blow you away. And you're in a hallway. You were able to take a little bit of cover, but not before being harried. And then Nanta drops from the spot, and then Brooks drops down after him and starts charging the stormtroopers because good dog.
And
By the way, I marked
okay.
wisdom for the crash, and then I also marked blood for the damage from, passing out and all of that. Yeah.
Looking
Can
not,
I
not
do
looking good.
something?
You can.
All right. So back on, what is it? The
Hand of Vengeance.
Hand of Vengeance, and stormtroopers shooting at me, and I think I'm, deflecting blasts with my hands, sort of thing, and retreating back. I've lost my quarry that I would have liked to deal with, and I think we get that sense from the Force. I feel the Fellowship in the difficulties, the pain. I can feel them calling. We hear, I sort of, and I look to the stormtroopers with this evilish, growled look. And I think as the shots fire, the big cloak that I wear just drops down as I kind of just disappear from the spot. I'm using my web, and I think as these stormtroopers are firing, if you will allow Rich, I show up behind them and force lightning spray right into the back of them.
Yes. Yes, that sounds great to me. Yes. And we cut into the area where the Vorlons were playing, like, yeah, we're
Vorons.
good to go. What? Vorons.
Vorons.
All right.
Vorlons are
I'm good. Like,
B5.
I thought I had it right, and I was wrong. Vorons. Warlock Vorons, my brain can't accept it one of these days, but obviously not today. Vorons, they rise up and they are fighting against the stormtroopers where they were. I know that was also said by Tyler literally seconds ago. You didn't have to type that in. Okay, salt and lemon in my wound.
He said DS9.
Oh, you did? Oh, I heard BAP5.
I said B5.
All right, sorry.
We'll have to watch the
The
tape.
accent. It's the accent.
Okay, anyway, collect myself. The Vorons. Oh, do you remember like morons? It probably some morons. I can remember that. There we go. I need a mnemonic device. Okay,
Vorons.
the Vorons rise up against the stormtroopers because this was all part of their ruse, right? And so now they're leading a little rebellion on the
Yay.
ship. Meanwhile, this ship is the Hand of Vengeance is under attack from the rebellion fleet. Like things are going a little crazy here because they have to take out the Hand of Vengeance so they can travel through to get to the Subjugator, which is the Superstar Destroyer, where Zop, Nanta, and Darren are doing very poorly.
Oh,
Very poorly.
Okay. No, where I'm wanting to pop up is behind the stormtroopers attacking them.
Oh! I thought that was a little low stakes, and that's why it was no big deal. I was like, why? I thought you could do magic stuff. And yeah, it's the other stormtroopers, not the ones that were distracting you for the fight.
Yeah, I'm traveling to my friends.
Awesome. That is so much better. Thank you for clarifying. I was all freaked out about Vorlons versus Vorons and not realizing you had cleverly transversed space and time with force magic. Darren, Nanta, Zop, perhaps this is the end. These last moments, this stormtroopers, they can't possibly. Oh wait, force lightning, and then smelling of burnt flesh, and one of them is being bitten by Brooks. We don't know how Brooks got the helmet off, but he's biting one of the inert stormtroopers. He's trying to bring an arm, but he can't quite detach it. He's not a Wookiee. But Matron Chevelle's Henri stands heroically in the hallway on the other side of these stormtroopers. I don't imagine that Chevelle's Henri's dropped in the line of fire. She seems like an attack from behind kind of person. I just
Yeah,
want to make sure we're on the
definitely
same page.
move.
Okay.
behind
good,
them.
we're
Yeah.
good. Yeah, all right. Went electrocuted these guys. Ah, and we see the like.
We get the mist depart, and there's
Yes.
Chevale's. And because I left my big cloaky bit to collapse back on the deck of the other one, it's me in my more tight fitting and the battle kilts sort of thing going on as I step
Nice.
through the mist too. Are
What do you
you
do?
all right?
Better than ever now that you're here.
Nanta is unconscious and coughs a little bit.
You'll see me rush over to Nanta.
Nanta does have the wine from Oron. Just wanna.
Yeah, I know. You're on mute.
I know. Brux has successfully pulled most of the stormtrooper over and drops a hand on Nanta. It's like a stormtrooper hand just kind of plops on his chest. Not enough to wake him, I don't think. You're in rough shape.
Anyone have something to help?
Yes,
Nanta.
yes. I take out a back to spray.
Cool.
Awesome. So I'll take that, and then once I'm conscious, I'll take a pull off the wine and hand that back to Darren.
You have marked sense? Your worst stat? That's great.
Yeah.
You got your sense back. Good. Sweet. So
Chevelle, sir, which way?
They should be in the command pod. I suppose they usually have those round things, don't they? That they're command deck.
yes, in the command section.
Command
If you
section.
look, I have unhid.
Oh yeah.
It is not a super star destroyer. I did
Victor.
find someone who has created deck plans for basically a superstar destroyer across 40 different illustrations. Instead, we are using, just for an idea of place, this, which came from the West End Games Star Wars D6 module Starfall, which had a few maps of the Subjugator, which in this was a regular Star Destroyer. Good enough for our purposes. The command section. I
that
imagine you
West End
guys are
Games
somewhere
version.
near the crew living section area. So the middle of the Superstar Destroyer, you've got to traverse and make your. Do we have any? I think we have some traveling. Like we have a travel move, if I remember, specifically in Fellowship. I would like to engage that.
Yay.
So
Journey.
a journey. Yep. So I think that is in. Is that in game reference? I think it is. Hold on, let me find it.
Yeah,
A
it's under
long
game
journey.
reference in H20. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Game reference. A journey is a story of point A to point B. During a journey, each player tells us one event that happened along the way, starting with whoever you like. The Overlord may frame the event by asking a player a question first. Like example, after someone describes the event, they choose another player at the table, and that other player tells us how they handled the event. Give each event as much or as little detail as it needs. The Overlord also sets the scene during the journey, telling the Fellowship how their minions made the journey harder. We don't have any minions, so yeah, that's just
Your minions.
Oh, my
minions. You
minions
have
get to do
stormtroopers.
that. For some reason, I always read that as one of your minions make your job harder, which I always felt was kind of punitive. Thank you for
We have
clarifying
companions,
that.
you have minions.
Words mean things, and I
They
should be
do.
advised of that. Thank you very much, Tyler. Yet another reason why I adore having you in this game. Thank you. Sweet. So let us start with Zop. Zop, if you could, tell us what is, after this group of first response stormtroopers, what is an event along the way as you and your fellowship are trying to travel from the crew living section of the Superstar Destroyer towards the command section? that overlooks the subjugator.
So the Empire is very much on to what the plan is here, very quickly, and they start shutting down the sections that we're in, cutting power, cutting artificial gravity, cutting all of the systems, right? So the doors are locking around us. Do I propose the solution, or is that somebody else?
Sorry, just want to make sure that we're following it. So, you describe the event, you choose another player at the table,
Yes. Okay.
and
Yeah.
that
Okay.
other player tells us how they handled the event.
Sorry, I was figuring out the grid math on a Superstar Destroyer. It's 1,000 feet long if you did it on a 5-foot grid.
Wow.
I will. Yeah. Darren, how do we overcome the systems shutting down around us?
Oh man, how do we overcome this? I like what stat or like what cool move?
Oh, what,
No,
Pure
just
what do you
narrative.
do?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you want Darren to do? Okay, I was a little confused there. Yeah, I think
And it's pure narrative. You don't have to spend anything. You could just say it's the cool way the Fellowship handles the problem.
Oh, cool. I actually thought it had to set up a move. That's perfect. That it's just purely narrative. Thank you.
Yeah, this is all a narrative scene set.
so. I think if it's a purely narrative scene set, we see sort of Darren's eyes glow gold again. Is like all this stuff is going on, but he takes those several deep breaths that Oron taught him, and he kind of puts steadying hands on his companion. That it's just like if we simply just move, and he like reaches. He's got a hand on two people. He can't reach another hand out. He points with the finger towards a certain direction. If we just move this way, I believe we can alleviate the tension of the situation and keep going.
Ooh, so you're using the force or something else to guide you?
Yeah, sort of like a view of the stillness.
Interesting. Cool. Are there any troubles along the... No, sorry, there are not, are there? What is the next event? We stick with the person who just answered it, right? That's how it goes. So then
Yep.
it's Darren next. What is the next event along the way? You guys make it out of, just to keep us all on track, you've made it out of the crew living section. Maybe you're in the area of the power cells or combat personnel living section, or maybe a little further.
I think if I may engage is the camouflage just for me, or can I share that with other people? It's the sense move that Oron gave me.
Let me look at it. I think it's just for you, but become invisible and undetectable. This lasts until you attack or decide to make yourself known. So it is personal.
Yeah. I think I'm going to engage that and right before, I guess, yeah, it doesn't matter. You can talk. Sorry. I'm trying to read the rules of this. I think we move with a stillness. We must go forward quietly, make our way past, and get to the center chamber.
Okay. You're going to present an obstacle in our way and then ask someone how we solve it.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. I apologize.
Yeah,
Oh.
I didn't transition well, but you solved. The stillness helps guide you guys past, and you're able to make where they try to shut down gravity, close doors, turn off power, and now you've made it to another section of the ship closer to your goal, and now you guys run into another obstacle, which Darren gets to describe, and then you can point to Nanta or Matron Chevelza Henri's to solve it. Be the person who says, "Oh yeah, we'll do X."
Yeah, okay. So I think what we run into is you're gonna have to let me know if this is too dark. It is clearly like enslaved, like very young adults, teens, what have you, who have like those like cybernetic chips like that we recognize from Siberia. So it's clear like these people are not here, really not here, and like they're being forced essentially. So it's like, but they've got, weapons trained on us. And so it's quite clear we have to maybe figure out a non-directly violent solution. And I'm gonna pass it to Zop.
Oh, yes. I really want to see how Zop is peaceful here. Because
Yeah,
that's his
well, no,
specialty.
I mean, he could kill these clearly innocent people, and cause some interesting tensions or dynamics for future shenanigans. But yeah, these people they look scared. They don't look like fighters, but it's clear like we watch one of them like take a step forward, but like their leg is shaking. They clearly don't want to be doing this, but they're like being forced. Like something in them is making them do it. They can't even flee if they wanted to, like physically, with cybernetics.
Let me do a quick check of sorry.
Oh yeah, safety tools, that's valid.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we do not have anything specifically against that. Of course, we do have safety tools active. Anyone can X card if this is too much.
I think we just get the slightest glimpse of this, right? As they're making their way down the corridors to find us. When Zop hears something back through the comms that have been added to his brain, right, by the doctor.
Yeah.
And it's I'm just gonna last minute insert another Star Wars Saturday character. Kel Trazik, Will H's long running character, has been deeply embedded on the subjugator and pulls us into another room. He is making his way to the shuttle bay to assist the fleet, but Kel Trazik is another bounty hunter, went to the rebellion side. So he pulls us away at the right time, and puts us in a turbo lift.
Nice. Love it. Kel Trazik as a cameo in this final confrontation with Zinj sounds great to me.
And then you
yeah.
would pass that to you could pass the danger, I guess, because technically Darren and I went back and forth. So
Right, and kind of the fail safe that the designer did put in for this is that perfect time for you, Rich, to bring in whatever a minion person does, because then you can set the tone, set the ordering back into where it goes.
Yeah, that sounds good. And so I can set the tone by having a minion come in, do a thing,
And then have either Stephen or I set up the next obstacle so that we have everybody hitting an obstacle.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. Just because Rich likes maps, I am going to have a thing. Yeah. Okay, cool. And I'm trying to think of I haven't had much success with minions, friends. You've killed a lot of them. So that's gonna be a thing that's interesting to me. Who's even gonna be here? Yeah, I think I have an idea. Maybe. Yeah, okay. So, you guys are traveling through the subjugator and you reach Officers Row. Officers Row is just underneath the command section. You know that this is the last. It's big. So, there are a lot of things can happen in the Officers Row. But yeah, you realize there are many officers here. You're going to need to come up with some plan to make your way through these many officers who are on high alert. And maybe you guys are hiding in one of the hallways as these officers are calling back and forth to each other on comms. Yes, they obviously they came through here. Very well. Zen just said that they will be coming through the officers' row. Keep alert. And so Nanta, how is it that you guys make your way through the high alert Imperial officers?
I think um we're coming up. I think we were near the power cells, is that right?
Yeah, you're not far from power
The
cells
map?
at all.
So I think what we actually do as we're coming up from that area, there's a detention center in the back. And as we come through that area, we overpower the guards and open up the detention center. So whenever we enter Officers Row, we have a larger group of people. We have, all the prisoners that were kept in the detention area to help us fight the officers. The officers aren't really frontline fighters. They are commanders, so they're not great. They have like little pistols and that kind of stuff.
They're
And
not
we
wearing
have
armor, they're wearing their jodhpurs.
right, and we have people who are very not happy with them about them, putting them in prison. So there's a lot of vengeance going on as we try and work our way through. And I think we see pleading looks back like, we wish we could stay, but we have more important fish.
Nice. I like it.
Oh, and then I set some danger
You do.
up.
It's your turn.
Let's see.
And wait, who answers this one, Tyler? I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I get everything in track.
Me. I'm the only one left who hasn't answered. Then I'll give an obstacle, and since everyone's answered, I'll just pick somebody that's
okay
to do it.
And I think that the I think that there is a tube that goes between the officers' row and the command section where we believe Zinj to be, but it's been damaged. We have the passcode to get in, and we try to do that, but there has been damage between here and there. How do we overcome that?
Excellent. All right. So our turbo lift, the turbo lift kicking into it. I think we see, it's not working, and we see Zop give a leg up to the top of it so Nanta can open it up. We see where we've got things, shoved into the tracks for it. We have Nanta pulling these things free, but the power cells, the power to it is still blocked. And so, Nanta yells back, when I release it, it's just gonna fall. And Chevelle says, release it. And as Nanta pulls the thing free, Chevelle pulls her hands out and begins to lift the turbo lift with everyone in it as it streaks up with green trailing behind it. All right, so our final obstacle. All right. I think as we've made it into the command center, or to the command section, and we're trooping towards the actual bridge. But as we come to that long white hallway, there's this enormous door that's closed, obviously, and we have the lineup of the shock troopers, the stormtroopers, and the heavy with the heavy weapons, and the prepared to meet us. And I think we all, we get the glory pose of all of us going into preparing for this fight. But Zop, what does it look like? How do we overcome these heavy troopers in the door?
I think we get that standoff for just a second. And then the electric arc from the force lightning that you raised us, it starts to keep crawling down the hallway. So the lights all die. and then it's just all illuminated by blaster fire. And so it's red and green lights going back and forth. There's moments of Cheval's green arc. We see Nanta's bow. What color is Nanta's arrows?
I think it's that few. Well, actually, it's the Zygerian, or no, I'm sorry, the Dathomirian like energy bow, like what we see
Yeah.
on the Bad Batch. So I think we see these kind of pinkish fuchsia kind of bolts come out.
Yeah, we see one of those fly through the head of a stormtrooper. Darren, you're using your blade,
My force whip. I sent
your
the
force
blade
whip,
the blade back with my sister.
and so that's the final crack of, is it white light?
I think it's golden,
Gold, yeah,
which is a
perfect.
different color than what it was before. Before it was that very dark seated, like it was a very dark purple, like the neon purple with like that dark blackness in the center. And now it is just pure gold.
Beautiful. And there's one last person, and they just disappear into a cloud of smoke as Zop hits them with his disruptor rifle.
Yes, disruptor. Yes, we had a disruptor sighting. Thank you, Greg. Yeah, that's awesome. You have made it to the command center. You Oh, yeah. None of you slice. Like, I don't think anybody slices through the door. So do you blow open the door to get onto the command deck itself?
I think the door just opens
That's
Oh,
interesting.
that's cool.
I like
before
that.
we have a chance to hack it or break it or cut it. It just opens for us.
Nice.
They knew we were coming.
Sweet. So, doors open, and I'm trying to be mindful of not everybody has the exact same frames of reference, so I'm trying to, yeah, actually, I've got a cool pic of what a Star Destroyer background looks like, so we all know generally what's going on. All right, sweet. So this was the same place where we have seen Zinj in all other cutscenes. There
Ooh.
are no people down in the trenches area here. This is normally where Zinj would be standing. However, Zinj is not standing alone, or at least not standing all by himself. Zinj is actually in a very small, small for an AT vehicle. I will show you the picture of it. It is known as the Clone Wars era AT-RT, an all-terrain reconnaissance transport with a big honking gun on it. And my mouse doesn't work. Weird. I can't actually wait. Oh, okay. I think I may have to replace my batteries. Crap.
Zinj took the mouse.
You took my mouse. What is going on? Ah! I wish that my mouse battery would give me more warning signs of I'm about to die. Hold on just a moment, friends. I apologize. I'll have new batteries in momentarily.
My mouse did this to me during a work meeting. It's not good.
Oh no.
The least dramatic moment for my batteries to decide to die. But I'm gonna get past it. Okay. Oh, and just so you have an idea, like, what does that even mean? This is what a person rides in it like that, right there. They get behind this little stuff, and they've got handles here like a motorcycle and a big honking blaster, which, hey, this was made for people who are a little bit more fit, so it kind of doesn't quite fit on the seat. And he laughs as he starts firing on you guys. Wah, 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 and he says, "Ah, welcome to your doom. You thought you had me at disadvantage, but who is the master here? Chevelle, sir, you disappoint me. You ever disappoint me." And,
Preposterous fool! You die here today.
yes. So he is firing on all of you guys, and he was waiting for you. Please, all of you, mark a stat, because this thing is whop. I mean, he is just laying waste to the bridge. He does not care. He's firing indiscriminately. He wants to kill all of you. Nanta, what do you do?
As is normally wont of his kind of people, I marked sense.
Okay. Oh, you got your
and
sense, you lost your sense.
that's right.
Stop making
And
sense.
as what he normally does, Imperials don't expect different height people. So I think Brooks and I are near to the ground already, and we basically roll out. We see this furball kind of roll out from the lift that we were in and off to the side. And I think Brooks is a blur on the other side. And we both charge him.
Nice.
That's a good. Yeah. Why don't I keep him busy?
Oh, perfect setup. Yes, that is delightful. Please do choose a stat and see if you can successfully keep him busy.
Keep them busy is courage, which I am good at. I am very, very good at. And I have hope. That's 4 plus 3 is a 7. I rolled 3 2s.
Oh
Oof.
man, what happens
So
on a
7.
7 would keep them busy?
You buy some time and keep their attention on you for now. They will retaliate against you when time is up.
Okay. So he's firing on you, wholly focused on you and Brooks. I'll get you and your stupid Corellian dog too. Because, I had to use
I
that
get to
quote.
I get to do a couple of other things. I get to sting like a bee.
Oh, that's right.
And I can get them to chase me around and leave the scene, but that's not interesting. I can steal something small, or I can ask a question from look closely or speak softly. Look closely is probably better. Um, Tell me about Zinj. What are they doing and what will they do next?
Ah, yes. This inch is as high as a kite. Like, he is blitzed out of his gourd on some kind of spice. And he's probably going to surrender near the end of this if he could take a few of you guys out. More the better. Does that feel fair for your question?
Yes. What could I steal from him? Would be interesting. Okay, so I'm going to ask another question from the look closely list then.
Okay.
What would happen if I were to blow this whole command center gone? I mean,
Blow up the entire. I assume with your friends not on it.
no, we're on it. I mean, we haven't talked about them being in the. I mean, we're here to take him out. It doesn't mean we have to survive.
Oh, if you blow the command center, anyone on the command center will be sucked out into the vacuum of space. And only one person has survived the vacuum of space, and that's Zapu. And you feel like he's already done that the one time.
Okay. So that's what I've got.
Great. So you're keeping him busy. Would anyone like to do anything about that?
Kind of. I mentioned that I had marked my camouflage,
Yes.
so Darren is invisible.
You know what? Do not mark a stat. He didn't see you.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Just like other things, you just skate by.
Yeah,
It's
we just get
privilege.
there.
It's
It's
fine.
privilege.
Enjoy it.
It's privilege. It's
privilege.
Jedi privilege.
Gold
Jedi gold
privilege,
privilege.
yeah.
And so I think he is slowly making his way around, and he's kind of gotten to the back of this destroyer, and he's just like slowly climbing up it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, towards the cockpit.
Sounds like perhaps you plan on finishing him.
Yeah, that could be fun.
This seems like the whole thing that this
It
has
does.
been leading to. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a good idea to try that.
May I interrupt for just a second?
Yeah.
We made a promise. I think I'm going to. One of the things I steal is privacy. I'm going to turn on the broadcast of everything that's going on here.
Yes. Yes. You're the best, Steven. Yeah. You're keeping him busy. And I think this has gotta be blood, right?
I mean,
I'm
you're going to kill him, then it would certainly be that.
Real quick, Nanta, are you a threat to the world?
I don't pay a price against threats to the world. Damage I do to the threat to the world is necrotic. I don't believe I am a threat to the world.
Okay, then you didn't take anything when you did your action against him. Darren, are you a
Ooh,
threat to the
thank
world?
you for that. I'd forgotten about the threat to the world stuff.
I believe I might be, yes.
You probably would have picked it up with your destiny if that's
Yeah, with my destiny, yeah. Let me pull that up real quick. I believe I am. Something about knowing ancient secrets.
I'm not sure the ancient secret makes you a threat to the world. I think you
Yeah,
can take that move, but
yeah, I don't know if it does directly. This is the article about Destiny, but where's the links? Oh, Destiny, there. Nope, that's not it. Sorry, I am trying to find this Destiny link. There they are.
And I should have read up on this, so this is on me. Thank you very much, Tyler. For
Oh,
making
I'm not unless I took that move. I'm not.
Great.
Mm-mm.
Darren, go ahead and roll to finish him. What happens if you are not a threat to the world and you do this?
First off, we'll need to pay the price. So either mark a stat or use something that makes sense. Or break a bond.
And that's when you're taking down
A threat to the world. You have to pay a price to do something against a threat to the world.
Awesome. Darren, you do not have to pay a price. Go ahead and roll to finish them.
That's so ominous, Rich.
Mm.
So yeah, I think it's going with blood. And I think as he goes to do this, because he's raising this whip to essentially kind of like wrap it around Zinja's throat.
Ooh, and what color was the whip? You changed
gold.
it to gold, right?
It's
So
just
we see
pure
just like
gold.
in the reflection of the like window, we see the gold whip a little bit, but it's behind him. He doesn't see it at all.
Yeah, he doesn't see. And Darren's just pure gold at this point. His hair is like swooped up a bit. And he just suddenly hears a voice behind him. It says, oh wait, does Zinj have a first name?
I'm sure he does. I don't know it off the top of my head because I've called him Warlord Zinj so much. Hold on just a moment and let me look up on the Wikipedia. I have his mother's name.
although he bore no first name per the tradition of his father.
Oh, nice!
Oh shit.
What the heck?
Wild. What a dick.
What a dick. What a goddamn dick.
Oh, by the way, this guy hunted down his own mother on trumped up charges because he decided that she was acting against the Empire.
Of course. And so I think behind him, he just suddenly hears like a very stately voice. Zinj, I am your judge, your jury, and your executioner. You have been found guilty of your crimes against Vorlok.
He's trying to
The
turn the
mo-
RTRT on you.
But I'm just like behind him.
I know he's trying.
The sanctuary moons of Tana, Dathomir, and the rest of the system.
And
You
one of
will-
the feet of the ATRT is at that little corner, right? It starts to slip a little bit. Go ahead and roll plus blood.
Now we're gonna roll and see if I do it right. 11.
What? And of course, this is broadcast to on the Holonet. Everyone except people in Coruscant, because they got more important things to deal with, gets to see it. What does the death of Overlord Zinj look like?
Yeah, I think we see, and it's just the force whip wraps around his throat, and there are the burns, but it's really just a forceful tug that snaps his neck. He dies a commoner, like just like a simple man's death.
Nice.
Nothing spectacular. His eyes probably bulge, but yeah, he called out Vorlok, Dathomir, and the Sanctuary Moons of Tana, which is Santa's home planet.
Nice.
Yeah, and he just falls down dead in the cockpit.
Yeah, he falls to the deck, ignominiously dying. You see the huge rents from the blaster bolts across the bridge that he so carelessly fired upon. And then you see, as you're looking out the windows, the ships of the rebellion are coming through. Some of them look like they've taken heavy damage, but they have made their way past the hand of vengeance. And they are here to attack this super star destroyer, other ships to try to take down the fist of the Empire. Tyler.
Technically, I have become the head of the Empire.
Yes, you have.
And I'll move over to a communication console and flipping it on. I, Warlord Honorees, command all forces of the Empire. Stand down. And with that statement, I will mark redeemed.
Oh, I got real nervous there.
I did too.
And with me being redeemed, the Empire falls.
Zop will make his way slowly. I'm actually going to mark my armor because I should have done that sooner. But there's a big, like, carved out hole right where his heart is. Poetry. And he looks down at the body of Zinj, and I'm gonna look closely here. I'm gonna invoke my my cunning as can be, because I'm not gonna leave this on my table. What is something hidden or out of place? What looks suspicious?
Oh, nice. You don't even have to roll with the thing here?
Nope, I just
awesome.
get to ask the question.
You notice that there's this like thin scar, very subtle. It just kind of hides underneath his chin.
Zop reaches down and touches the scar. He's never seen the scar on any of the images of Zinj.
Correct. And it looks fresh. And you realize that the skin here is a slightly different color. There's a little bit of makeup to try to get it to blend, but it doesn't.
Yeah, Zop pulls on that.
And you pull off, and it starts to tug away some of the skin. It was definitely on there, but this is the Empire has fallen.
But this is not Zinj.
But this is not first nameless Zinj.
Before any of the other companions notice, Zop tucks it back.
Nice. Nice. It's probably not a bad idea.
I think before, if it's like still shooting, I think broadcasting out to people.
Mhm.
I think Darren does like a Captain America look into the into the camera, like fully golden, like a little bit of just like, oh no, there's no blood. But yeah, well, there's some blood. They were fighting before this. A little bit of blood splashed against the skull, but in like a regal way.
Nice. Yeah,
And
the
he
regal blood.
turns,
Yes, into
yeah,
it.
regal blood, you know. And he turns and he looks at the camera and he says, "Do people of the soul of like the systems, do not stand down to your oppressors and let them take your planets. I, as heir prince to Warlock, speak to you. You will have our aid and the aids of others. Stand with your rebellions. Eke out the destruction of the Empire. Go forth as we did. As for Dathomir, as for Vorlock." And he the camera kind of like pans. He says Dathomir to the matron, and the camera pans a little to Nanta when he says, you know, the sanctuary moons of Tana, and avenge what you have been lost and taken from the Empire.
I think there's a slight smile from Chevale's as maybe a bit more of her teaching than Oren's is on display here.
Nice. I love it. I love it. And we have a montage of shots. There are stormtroopers in Sereno and Karania City who are laying down arms, and we cut to another part of the montage where the subjugator itself is being boarded, and the diligent spark comes up alongside. She's too big to really fit on the hangers. Uh, and then we cut to the hand of vengeance, which is in flames but has not actually fallen to the ground. And we hear the sickening like crunch sound. And the camera just kind of is, we see there's a rancor that is eating sub one, and just finishes them off, and maybe it has a little burp,
Nom, nom, nom.
and yeah, it appears that the empire has fallen.
Can I pitch a montage image?
Sure.
I just think it's fun. After like the camera turns off, I think Darren with like this huge, stupid, goofy smile on his face goes over to the matron and lifts her up in like a style of how they were dancing that first meeting, and like just kind of spins her around a little. And again, and similar to that dance that they were doing, and he's like, "We did it. We promised each other that we were going to free each other's planets, and we've done it." And it's just like a goofy smile, like little like victory dance for a second.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think after we dance or spin for a moment and you put me down, though, I look. Where is the stillness? Where is the cage?
Oh, the cage. Freya took it into the place between places.
Did you open it as I asked you to do?
No, I don't think it got opened. We just put it away for a bit. Right. Zop, where's Freya?
I don't know. With Oron, I suppose.
Well, no, but she was with you. Oron left her to you.
I don't know if we know that, but yes.
Well, didn't he give the
I
gifts
can
out
make
in front
her.
of us?
I can make her appear. Yeah. Okay. So Freya will just like Zop said. No, Zop says, I don't know, and then Freya just like appears through one of the consoles to the side.
Freya, can you bring me the holocron from the place between places where you put it?
It's
You need it, Rich.
Freya looks at me, I would suppose.
Yeah. Freya don't take orders from Darren.
He said, please.
Uh-huh. Not on my leash moment. Sorry.
This dog recognizes no authority.
Yeah. Neither does Zop. Is this wise, Chevelsa?
Defeated Dathomir. Zinj has taken its core with the cage. It was designed to contain the spirit of an entire people. With the stillness freed, I can use it to call back the power of my own.
Zop will reach down and pets Freya on the side and tells Freya to go back. In fact, it doesn't take very long. How do you reward a loth wolf? Anyways,
Jerky.
Jerky. Zinj body part.
Ah,
Cameras are not rolling anymore. It's fine.
Yeah. Zinj body's part. It's fine. No cameras. Nobody
stop
knows.
letting anybody near Zinja's body, by the way. So
Cool. I think this is the moment where I just want to check it. So, Tyler, you actually have fresher knowledge of things than I. I have not, unfortunately, been able to go back. The holocron was destroyed in the place War Between Worlds, correct?
what happened with it is it was crushed, it opened up. That's what freed the stillness out in space. But Orin took and laid out the three things in front of him and was going to try and cleanse what was left of the holocron, to try and cleanse that spirit of his son. He has that, he's got Zop's crystal, and he's got another icky thing, and he was going to use Zop's crystal to try to cleanse all of that. So the question is, would the holocron be able to be gotten from Orin? Did Orin, I don't want to invalidate Orin's epilogue. Because if not, I have an alternate. It's just really awful, probably.
Well, you're basically, if you're trying to work out a way that Orin could cleanse the holocron, you could assist him in cleansing it, but the price is for you to take the holocron so that you can use it once it's been cleansed. Does that still fit?
That certainly fits. If we want to kind of play into that. I don't know how you want to get into epilogues or where you want to get it, because Chevelsa will look to the Fellowship and say, while our work is done here, Coruscant is being destroyed.
I think we're on the doorstep. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to just transition to epilogues, looking at time,
Right,
and not wanting to.
and I'll say, what Zinj has unleashed there, it will not stop at Coruscant. How many ships have already fled? How many already have the poison on them? Soon the entire galaxy will fall to the dead.
So, we will transition to epilogues here with that ominous statement by the Empress Chevelsa Henri's. Just declare yourself Empress. I'm just saying, I'm just going with what you said.
I didn't say that. You said that.
So who would like to jump off with an epilogue for their character? Which doesn't mean you don't get to play the character again. It just means this is the end of this story and where we get to see you.
I could go in with the more immediate and kind of where I'm seeing trying to deal with this Coruscant thing. Um, Building off of what was suggested here, I believe as a fellowship we go to Orin, explaining the trouble. We see this image and we see where there's, perhaps the conflict, the discussion of what it is, Orin finally seeing that this might be the best way as Orin and Chevalza work together, try to cleanse this holocron. And I'll leave vague. It would be a Cody thing to describe what happens with the resider of the holocron.
Oh, sure. Or
So
this could be where Rich runs Zombie World on Coruscant. Who knows? Who knows what this could be?
but taking the pieces of the holocron, um Chevalza will look to Nanta and say, I will need your help. And we see, I think Chevalza, like, if Nanta nods agreement, will like reach down a hand to Nanta's shoulder and they'll just kind of step into the web. And we to Coruscant, which is in horrid shape. It's craziness going on. And Chevalza looks to Nanta and says, I do not know what this power will do to me. I very well may fall, or it may corrupt me. See that the power of my people returns home. Should the corruption fall upon me, I depend on you. End that corruption.
And Nanta's, my first priority will be to return this to Dathomir. Your ending, if you become corrupted, is secondary.
Let me return to darkness. And I kind of begin reaching out, and I think we see like the threads of greed, and this is an enormous, way more powerful than than I could probably handle, as I'm trying to basically siphon this back and put it into the holocron. And yeah, I think we begin to see, we get the kind of desiccation, the greed in the eyes as the holocron begins to glow with green. And we see people falling as this, the poisons be pulled out from them. And I love a good unsure ending. I think that we see Chevalza. Actually, I think we see Nanta as the holocron is passed to him, all glowing, and that rift kind of opens into the web for you to step through. And that's the end of that's my end of epilogue end. We don't know what Chevalza is.
Delightful. And Nanta, you can do your own epilogue. Like you were there. You can do another epilogue. You don't have to if you don't want to put forth the effort. I would love to hear from Sup or Derek.
I can go. So there's the rebel troops finally arrive on the subjugator, Zop escorts the body of Zinj out.
Ain't nobody touching that body, right?
Nobody's touching that body. And you know, when they get onto, we never named the flagship, did we? Or did we?
Are you talking about? I thought you guys were in the flagship.
With Rex, like his
What,
flagship, the
Rex's
big
ship? Damn.
It's okay if we did. We're on that big Mon Calamari cruiser.
Yeah.
And Zop arranges an incident to occur to Zinja's body, so it is purged with fire before anybody can bury it or investigate it. He leaves, perhaps even on the Diligent Spark, and returns to the Minos cluster. Maybe Churdal drops him off, and we'll do Canar, which we haven't. There's no details on it from any of the Minos cluster notes I can find. To that shrine, right, for the Tenwa clan, and it's the homestead of the Lars at the beginning of New Ice, just smoke and ruins. It's totally been destroyed. And the last shot we have is Zop grabbing Zinja's rank badge that he stole, and he squeezes it so hard that blood starts to come from his fist and drop onto the ground beneath him.
Yes. Yes. Love it. What about Darren?
Yeah, I think we have a few moments. We see, obviously, on the Diligent Spark, as they're kind of dropping some people in different places, that each time Darren, is like gives his personal number. So whatever the Star Wars equivalent of is, here's my personal line. And it's just like, should you ever need me, I will be at your beck and call, as will my people. And I think he hugs Zop, because Zop's all like unfeeling war machine now, and he's like, hug.
Zop
And he
gently taps back.
tap tap tap. They've been a big part of his growth, his teenage ascending to adulthood. And he when they get back to Vorlock, I think we see this procession of Judah, the freeing of his family members that were imprisoned, Judas being imprisoned, and his sister back in her place where she is supposed to be as ruler. And Darren's just got this big smile on his face.
No, it was they made me.
They made me. Yeah, not gonna happen. Yeah, Judas now. And he's just, he's your own parent, Judas. Jesus. And we get several flashes of, a perhaps future moments of just Darren being a sort of stopping in and visiting, Versi and Oron and Matos. And, there's moments of him through different times, different ideas of what an older Darren and an older Matos might look like, as just different moments of Darren kind of being a bit of a master a bit to this little Padawan, or just an older surrogate big brother figure, playing and teaching and sneaking off and all those fun things. And I think we also see Darren talk about, what does Darren do now? What is his place? He is the heir, at least for now, unless his sister takes, a partner and has children. And there's a bit of wonder there. And I think he's, for now, I will be an ambassador to our people. There is much of our planet and relations we still need, but I will always be home, should you need me, sister. And I will come back, of course, for all the holidays. I can't miss a Chrysos. And I think he's getting his ship settled, and it's Chordol, and he refuses to give Versi her job back. She needs to stay on planet. And he invites, if Nanta wants, he invites Nanta to be a permanent member of his crew. And he has also the doctor. He has set up, what was his full name? Dr. Kidros. He has set Dr. Kidros up as like the doctor inside the ship and has given him, as promised, everything, the coffers of the royal house to make him an even better fucking suite than he had on that stupid Zygerian ship.
He reluctantly agrees.
Yeah.
Nice.
What adventures we have, we'll see in another Star Wars game.
Further Dylan adventures, yay! And then Steven, is there anything you had for Nanta that you want to share?
Yeah, I've got a couple. The first is before Nanta left with Chevelza. We're still on the bridge, and we see Freya retrieve the holocron, and while we're all visiting and kind of talking about things, I think Freya turns to leave, and the little circle thing opens, the portal opens, and she turns to slip away. And I think we hear this whine, and Brooks kind of looks up and cocks his head, and I'm like, Nanta nods, and Brooks turns and follows Freya through the portal. The second one is fast forward in time, and we see Nanta is in a restaurant, and this is sort of like a maitre d'. He has like a little vest on and everything, and he's going around from table to table to serve them dishes. I don't think he's cooking these dishes right away, but I think he's serving these dishes and putting them out. And he goes to what seems to be a very important table, like off to the side, maybe up on a platform, and sits down, and Oron is there. And Oron says, "We need to talk." And Nanta perks ahead, cocks his head a little bit, perks his ear, and that's where it cuts.
Oh, that's so great. I was trying to type it, but then I got nervous about spelling. But that gave me a flash of Ewok Tatooine. The idea of Nanta running a restaurant, but that's cool. Excellent. Are there any further? I'm just making space in case anyone had any last thing they want to add, or shall we bring this to a close? Delightful.
Do you have anything for any NPCs or anything you want to say, Rich?
I have like flashes of ideas, such as a twitchy, frustrated Noah Centel with little Falkine still in her head, a destitute and is starting to lose some weight, exiled Zinj under another name. The people of Dathomir and Whisper trying to form a whole new government. And I mentioned this only in chat, but I want to say it out loud. Clever folks who go back in the Dathomirian scene with Matron Chevelza Henri's realize that the red cast to Dathomir has dimmed and become more gray, and it's not necessarily darker as much as the redness seems to have been bleached out a little bit. So those are some little epilogue things that are probably post-credit not super worth it, or maybe it even just makes it into the art book, or like cut bits on the Blu-ray. I'm not sure, but those are thoughts I had about epilogue bits. You guys are the heroes. You defeated Warlord Zinj, and he has to live with it, which is kind of its own terribleness.
It's delightful that he gets sort of two deaths. He gets this death on screen, which again was not very great or wonderful. and now he will theoretically starve to death or just like live a commoner's life and die as a commoner.
Well, till Zop finds him.
Oh, Zop finds him.
Till
Zop
Zap
finds
finds him.
Oh, Zop's gonna be hunting his ass down, and I definitely think that is a thing. Yeah, that'll be a bounty of the week thing. I think that'll be fun. This was delightful. Thank you all so very, very much. Just because it's part of our ritual, we will have no wishes because hopefully we granted them all. But I think it would be nice to end things off with just a couple of stars. I know we could go on and on. We could talk about the entire 13 sessions, but also I've ordered some pizza, so I don't have that much time. But I would love to hear just a couple of stars. I'd like to go first with stars.
I will go first with stars. A star to everyone. What a wonderfully told story all around. I think ultimately it's a sign of a really good play group that people joining and leaving adds to the story and makes the story more interesting than taking it away. So, with Tyler and Cody and a couple of people having to step out, I think myself included for at least 1 or 2 sessions, I always was excited to see what the group did in my absence, and I was always excited to be here. So just a big star to everyone. I think we told a great tale. And it's super exciting. I'm glad that Zinj is still around and I get to kill him. If anything else, I'm gonna go play the solo bounty game. Kill Zinj that way. We'll find out.
I had to save him because Han Solo kills him in the books, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, fair enough.
Rude.
I'm joking. I'm joking. That is meaningless to me. It means nothing. Good job. Any other wishes? Sorry. There are no wishes. Stars. Oops, I'd like to throw out.
Is that your only star, Greg? Or
That was pretty comprehensive.
no,
Said
it
to
is. No,
everybody.
just checking.
Yeah. No, just overall the whole thing. It was such a good.
I will echo that. Oh, sorry. Go, Tyler. Okay. I will echo all this. I've said it several times. Just an amazing play group, an amazing story, a fantastic job overall to everyone. I'm just gonna give one little quick snicket star to everyone. I love your ending, Nanta, just in a little maitre d' outfit. I love it. I love a little murder bear, just in a little suit. It's adorable. I love it. Star, Tyler, to putting me on the edge of my fucking seat at the end, where I thought the matron was really gonna betray us all, and I was gonna play like a heartbroken Darren for a second, but no, we got our little happy dance instead, so that was lovely. Star 2 Zop sort of protecting. I'm gonna decide it was a protecting move by not letting the others know that Zinj, he was protecting their moment and their ability to move forward with their lives. So star for that. And star to Rich for just all your wonderful characters and their wonderful voices. And I loved all the little people that we saw in just these differing ways, from our really quick Inquisitor to a batshit hopped up on drugs fake Zinj, to the even the doctor, and just like the little snide, like all that stuff. It's just, yeah, it's also good. And Judas at the end. It's just, what? No, just, yeah, it's all
She
fabulous.
made me.
They made me do it.
I had to have you hate him just a little more at the end.
I loved it.
I'm glad. Excellent. Thank you so much, Kay.
Okay. First off, this was an interesting, just really neat overall story. Early on, back on Vorlock, Rich and I were talking, and it was, coming up with what was going to be at that temple. And between us, we're like, oh, how about it be something with the stillness? How about the stillness is caged in something? And to watch that then take on a life and just continue around was amazing. It was so interesting. Watching the development of the characters was phenomenal. I thought we saw, obviously there was a real journey for Darren, but it was very neat to watch. Um, and Cody Oron was just magnificent. Uh, Very Alec Guinnessy sort of Jedi. It really felt right in that style of Jedi, and that was perfect. Um, Greg watching Zop kind of move into this hyper focused character and just be such a badass was really neat and fun to watch. And just everything you described out of him was phenomenal. He was really he became downright frightening. Just intense and scary in some ways. In this session, I loved all of our long journey stuff. I want to kind of start that. I love the move. It is that premier move of the game, and I loved how we interacted with it. It was phenomenal. And Stephen, not being my conscience, being a partner to my role play, I appreciate that so much. The generosity you have in any scene is so good. It is such a delight to role play with you. And I love the relationship that built up with Nata and Chevalza. And there's the special part in her heart for Darren. There's that adversarial kind of feel with Oren. But what happened with Nata and Chevalza, I think, was both a surprise and really deep and interesting. And there's something, I think, really poetic of we started from a place where I came and nearly destroyed your people, and we ended where I trusted you to save mine. And that just, to have that wrap into an arc just feels exquisite. So, excellent, excellent, excellent. And Rich, taking on a game that I know is not your favorite game and is not even your favorite type of game. You knocked it out of the park. It was
Thank you.
really, really good.
Thank you. Thank you. Are we good?
I have some stars to pass out, which
All
are
right.
most of them are repeats. I really enjoyed the engaging with the rules that we did, like that travel move was fantastic. I think we've done it once before, but it was really good to see, this is a good time to use it. The different moves really spoke as we were like, what are we going to do to get in? And I think it was Greg who was like, the door just opens. I'm like, that's spooky, right?
That was so
Or
good.
was it you? Was it you, Rich?
No, it was Greg. It was Greg.
Yeah,
I
the
think
door
the
just
door
opens.
just
Like,
opens.
they're expecting us.
And I'm like,
totally, yeah.
oh. And like, so Chevelle, Tyler keeping us on the hook about which way was Chevelle's is going to go, and then it was right at the very end where we found out what happened. I was super tense. And Darren taking down the bad guy, but from a point of of a ruler, like I'm a ruler and I'm firing you, was very, very good. The whole thing, the whole setup, I have to admit, I was really nervous. Like we had talked about this last week, I think, that nervous about how we're going to stick the landing, and this is just beyond my expectations. It was very good.
No, landing definitely stuck. Oh yeah, loved it.
Yeah.
We stuck that landing. Thank you guys so much. I've really enjoyed this series, the story of the series. While I expressed early on frustrations with Fellowship, huge star to Tyler for helping me to see some of the strengths of the engine. Thank you so much, friend, for I know you were here half the time, but man, you felt like your presence was always around, and you were just that guest star where it's like, oh, so and so is in this episode. Great. It's gonna be a great one. And then even on the off ones, it was still really good. Really, really good. I've adored this series. Thank you all so much for bringing your hearts and playing these awesome characters. And with that, we will bring this series to a close. Goodbye, Internet. Thank you all.
Bye, Internet.